Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. And today we are just going to go through a sequence that incorporates lots of the things that we've been looking at recently. We don't need any extra equipment. I have got some blocks underneath my feet because that makes it more comfortable for sitting on my chair. But other than that, we don't need any extra bits and pieces. Let's begin our practice by simply sitting nice and tall. So towards the front of your seat, allow yourself the opportunity to feel the parts of your body that are supported, the soles of your feet, the buttocks, perhaps parts of the legs, perhaps a little bit. And then using that support, that foundation, allow yourself the opportunity to sit tall and rest the arms wherever is comfortable. If you feel like doing so, you can close the eyes. If you prefer to keep them open, simply gaze gently downward. Take this moment to step away from all the other things that have been going on around you and bring yourself into the time and space for yoga. And as you do that mental stepping away, you might feel a softening of the effort across your forehead, across your shoulders, your jaw. Take this opportunity to scan your body, feel how you're feeling. And that might be a physical sensation, a thought or a feeling, whatever comes up as you take note of yourself. It's very common for our aches and pains to be at the forefront of our mind when we turn our awareness inward. And so offering these feelings, these sensations, the compassion of your practice, not stressing or straining too much in those areas as we work through our class together. But also noticing at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, quiet, and at ease. Excuse me. Let that peacefulness ripple out and touch other places, maybe allowing them to quieten as well. Turn your awareness to your breath and make note of how your breath feels, just in its natural rhythm. Practiced yogis sometimes find it hard not to automatically deepen their breath, but if you can, just noticing your natural breath. When you feel ready, you can deepen that breath, drawing the breath into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. And as you breathe deeply out, gently engaging across your belly button, drawing the navel towards the spine to exhale completely. Soft in the belly to breathe deeply into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Breathing out a long, slow, deep breath, gently engaging to exhale fully. Keep breathing in this way. Each breath in, lifting you tall, filling the torso. Each breath out, releasing, relaxing, getting that full exchange of air through the lungs. Or coughing if you need to. Just a few more deep breaths. At the end of your next exhalation, allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm, falling into quietness. And then you can gently blink your eyes open if they've been closed, or raise them if they haven't. So today we're going to start with this length through the back of the body, opening across the chest, and just finding that neutral spot for the head to rest. So it's not too far forward and feeling strain in the back of the neck, just resting in the center. And then we'll begin with some nice neck movements. So turning to look over your left shoulder or in the direction of left, and returning to that centered spot before turning to look over the right shoulder. And gently going side to side. We're beginning with these small, precise movements because they give us an idea of what is going on in the body and how things feel. Now we'll take ear to shoulder. So just on your next opportunity, left ear to left shoulder, head to center, right ear to right shoulder. And we're just going up and over, trying to hit that centered spot in the middle every time. And we are beginning to develop our muscle memory there. Let's do one more of those to each side so that we can, whenever we think about lengthening the crown of the head and the back of the neck, we come into that centered spot just perfectly. And now chin to chest. And here, just giving yourself a gentle smile and then bringing your head upright and gently taking the chin up, maybe taking the bottom teeth over the top teeth. And then hitting that centered spot, almost retracting the chin to take the chin back down to the chest. And rolling up again, bottom teeth over top teeth if you like. Lifting the chin and back to center. And then relax. So actually all of those very precise movements, we move our body in a way that we don't normally move. So let's roll through the shoulders. Give ourselves a little bit of release, go in both directions. Maybe a few times. And then we're going to come back to this centered spot, this lifted spot, and take the right ear to the right shoulder and just see how that feels down the left side of the neck. If you've got more room, press your left palm to the floor. And if you still feel like you've got a bit more room to move into, you can gently lift and lower. It's that slow, your chin. So if you were doing a slow nod, but your right ear is towards your right shoulder as well. There's no strain, there's no force. It's just an opportunity to move. Feel the structures that are connecting, supporting. Maybe one more time up. And this time, as your chin comes down, you can bring your chin back to your chest. Relax your left arm, give yourself a gentle smile, and then come up to sitting upright. Wriggle anything that needs wriggling, because we don't want to carry tension from one practice into the next. But at the same time, it gives us an opportunity to really feel that space and enjoy exploring into it. Then from our centered lifted position, left ear to left shoulder. Just seeing if there's a bit more room. If there is, press the right palm to the floor. And then if you still feel like you've got some more room to move, gently lift and lower your chin. Gentle lift. Gentle lower. Trying to do this, keeping the shoulders relaxed so that we're not creeping up either shoulder towards the ears. And then this time, you can bring your chin down and to the center of your chest, relaxing the right hand and arm. Give yourself a gentle smile and come back to sitting upright. And again, rolling the shoulders in any way that feels good. Super stuff. So hopefully that is a really nice way to release at the beginning of the class the tension we're not aware of holding. So well done to you for doing that. And we're going to take our feet nice and wide and maybe just sit a touch further back on your seat, and we'll do our swaying upper body movement. So we're creating a little bit of lift here through the belly muscles and just circling the head around the base of the spine. So the idea is to move the body backwards a little bit as well as forwards. Forwards is easy, backwards is hard. When you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction. There we are. Nice and simple. We're using the feet for support. Got strength through the center of the body. The shoulders can be nice and relaxed here as well. Let's do one more in this direction. And then coming back to center. So we're going to do that same practice, but we're going to be a bit more expressive with it. So we can use the hands wherever is comfortable and try to draw the right shoulder towards the left knee. So all we're really doing is twisting the upper body. The chest moves a little bit like this, and then we're going to come forward, let the arms support, but bend at the elbows, little forward bend here, left shoulder towards the right knee. And then as you sit up, lift your chest towards the ceiling and come back to that right shoulder towards left knee position. So we're nice and firm in the center, rolling through the body. The hands might slide around on the legs. We're mostly keeping the arms nice and bent so that we can move through the chest and the shoulders. Let's do one more in this direction. Lovely support from the belly muscles. And as you come to that open chested position, just bringing yourself back to center. Feel how that feels through your body, and let's do the same thing to the other side. So a left shoulder towards right knee, and then we've just got that scoop in of the belly, leaning slightly forward, bringing the chest forward, right shoulder towards left knee, and then opening the chest, looking up, and coming back, left shoulder towards right knee. Scooping the belly in as we come forward, keeping that lifted belly, the legs supported as we lift the chest up towards the ceiling. And let's just go around one more time in this direction. Very good. Coming to sitting upright whenever it suits you to do so, and make a note of how that feels in your body. So that lovely spiraling sensation across the rib cage, and that's where we can get really stuck if we don't take the opportunity to move. So rolling your shoulders a few times again, just feeling that space that we've created, and we'll firm our belly muscles and do a little bit of side bending. So reaching the arms nice and wide, we're reaching the right arm up and over, maybe the left fingertips reach towards the floor, maybe you use your hand on your body for support, and then going to the opposite side, finding the same kind of support. Side to side. You can move slower or more quickly if you wish to, but slow movements require much more control, much more opportunity for strength. Press the feet into the floor. Feel the chest is open so the arms are moving back. They're not in front of the body too much. The head just staying in line with the rest of the spine. The next time you go over to your right-hand side, rest your right hand on your chair, on your thigh, and reach the left arm up and over. And if the left arm doesn't move in that way, then reach it out to the side or hold onto your hip as you choose. Here we're lifting the belly muscles, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Let's open the chest towards the ceiling and then round through the spine as we draw the left arm across the body, maybe reaching diagonally across the body. Pressing into the feet, press into the right arm to open the chest towards the ceiling. Reach your left arm back a little if you can, and then reaching forward. We're just taking the opportunity to move in this spiral sensation, a little bit more than we did in our previous practice. And this time as the left arm comes forward, reach it across the body to the left knee. And here we're leaning forward, but we want to roll the shoulder blades back and down to open the chest and just sway the chest from side to side. Doing what feels good. It could be moving in the shoulders, it could be just moving out of the base of the spine, whatever feels good to you. And then we'll take the opportunity to come a little bit more forward if it feels good, and then press up with the hands, coming up to sitting upright. Make note of how that feels in the body. Hopefully you're beginning to feel a release of tension. Sometimes that can feel like you've got an increased sensation, but then it should dissipate afterwards. Fingers crossed. Taking the arms out to the side, let's do those side bends again. Reaching over to the left, reaching over to the right. We'll do a couple more to each side. Nice and firm in the feet and the belly muscles. The next time you come to the left, just rest your left hand wherever is comfortable. Reach the right arm over. And then continuing to reach to the side, roll the right shoulder backwards, opening your chest. And then roll the right shoulder forwards. Maybe reach the right hand across the body as if you were reaching for someone diagonally away from you. Press into the left hand, firm the belly, open the chest, and then reaching forward. Let's do one more like that. Reaching open. Maybe the arms behind the body slightly. As you reach forward, allow the left arm to come down across the body to the right knee. And then hands on the knees, roll the shoulder blades open. We're slightly leaning forward. We're going to sway the chest from side to side, coming a little deeper if it feels good to do that. Don't do that if it doesn't feel so good on the low back. Stay higher up, it's no problem. By coming forward, to wherever is comfortable for us, we get to explore a bit of space. And then in the center, we can reach the hands down the legs and find a forward bend with the crown of the head coming towards the floor and really feeling length down the back of the back, down the bottom of the back. Here, if it's comfortable, you can just let the backs of your hands or your fingertips trail towards the floor. Take a couple of deep breaths. If you prefer to come up more quickly, that is okay. When you're ready to release out, hands come to the tops of the knees, and we are going to lengthen forward. So with your eyes, look forward, look forward, look forward. Slowly raise yourself to being parallel to the floor, and then press into the feet and hinge up from the hips, coming to an upright position. Relaxing the arms. Give yourself a little wiggle, check that you don't feel dizzy. If you do, take some time just in a touch of stillness, and then hopefully it'll be okay. If you ever feel more dizzy than that, it's time to get yourself down on the floor and the feet up. Okay, oh, maybe down on a bed. I shouldn't have said floor. Just ignore me, it's fine. We're going to put the blocks to one side and sit back in our seats just a little bit more so we can free the feet from the floor. And we can also use the back of the chair to support the body. You can even hold on to the seat or the back of the chair if you want to really feel that firmness in the upper body. And we're going to just begin with a little bit of gentle kicking. Try not to kick anything on your seat. And if you want to, you can point your toes a little bit forwards and flex your heels a little bit backwards, which takes it into a more precise action. Lovely job. If you want to extend a little bit more through the legs, you can, through the tops of the feet. You can feel the muscles in your thighs working here as well. And then when you're ready, just make it a little bit freer. So you don't have to worry too much. Maybe there's a little circling action to the motion. And if it works going in one direction, you can go in the other direction as well. We do like to do both directions. Very nice. And then with the feet just still at the center, swaying the feet from side to side. So they're going in the same direction, but you get a little bit more movement through the tops of the thighs. And then allowing the feet to be still and steady, just rolling the ankles a few times. And you can do as many of those as you like. It's a really nice thing to do in the evening if you find yourself sitting, listening to the radio or watching TV, to keep the feet moving. A little bit of scrunching and spreading of the toes. And you don't need to be really precise. You can just do anything that feels good. And then when you're ready, maybe a little wriggle of the toes. We're going to bring our feet onto the floor and shift our weight forward again. so that we have got the feet are nice and flat. They can be up on a support if you prefer. And then here we're going to come onto the tiptoes of one foot and onto the heel of the other. So we've got 1 foot toes up, 1 foot heel up, and we're going side to side. If you find it really challenging to do alternate sides, then simply do both at the same time. Both heels up, both feet toes up, both heels up, both toes. But it doesn't matter if you can do it alternately. It's really good for that cross-brain action, cross-body action. Helps the two hemispheres of the brain to talk to each other. And by maintaining those sorts of connections, we can maintain better cognitive health. Yes. Brain gym. Lovely job. When you're ready, just resting both feet down, and we're going to roll towards the big toes and then roll towards the little toes. And we want to roll the whole foot. We're trying to move at the ankle, but without the knees moving inwards and outwards. If that's challenging, start by moving the knees inwards and outwards and just noticing the position of your foot, and then try to keep your knees still, and you might need to hold on to them, and then just moving the foot from side to side. There's a little bit of movement in the knees, just not a lot. There we are. Just rolling to the outside edge, inside edge, outside edge, inside edge, and then relax. Woo! Let's lengthen the legs forward. So we've got quite a lot of the buttocks and maybe even the upper leg on the chair, but we're lengthening the legs forward, and we're just going to lift and lower the legs. At the same time, we want to sit tall and firm the belly muscles. So lift and lower, nice long straight leg. Lift and lower, lift and lower. You can feel your hip flexors working here. This time we're going to lift the left leg, take it out to the left and pop it down. Lift the left leg, bring it in and pop it down. Same thing on the right. Lift the right leg, take it out to the right, pop it down. Lift the right leg, bring it into the center, pop it down. Let's do 2 more to each side. Lift out and down, lift up and down. Still sitting nice and tall. Lift out and down, lift up and down. Lift out and down, left side, lift up and down. Right side, lift out and down, lift up, in and down. Very nice. And then with your legs still long, maybe lean slightly back. You might even support yourself with your hands and just give your feet a little wiggle side to side, as if you were waving at someone with the soles of your feet, maybe rolling at your ankles. If that doesn't feel good leaning back, you can still do it sitting up. It's not a problem at all. If you can lean back, then that's great too. And then when you're ready, you can slide your feet in, bring yourself to be sitting upright. And we're still with the seat on the chair. We're going to lengthen one leg away and then draw the knee into the chest. So as you lengthen your leg away, let's lift the arms up. Doesn't matter where up is, you can hold your beach ball as wide as you like. But if you want to get them narrower, then that's fine too. So reaching up, opening your chest, firm your belly muscles, and then draw your knee into your chest and just round slightly forward, tuck your chin in and hug that knee towards you. And then lengthen the leg away, open your chest, long arms, long back, long body, long front body, and then rounding as you bring that knee into your chest. Let's do one more like that. Opening and lengthening, looking up, and then rounding and hugging and drawing in. Place that foot down on the floor as you sit tall in the center. Make note of how the body feels in these different positions or after these different positions. Lengthen the right leg away, lift the arms, open the front of the body, lift in the belly muscles, and then draw the belly muscles in as you round forward and hug the knee towards you. Lengthen arms and legs. You can rest your heel down on the floor and then round through the body, pressing into that opposite foot to help. Lengthen one more time, opening your chest, and rounding through your body, drawing that knee into your chest, chin to chest. And then feet to the floor, sitting nice and tall, just rolling the shoulders a few times. Give yourself a little sway. We're going to bring our feet and thighs a little closer towards each other, and then take the arms nice and wide and turn gently towards the right, reaching the right hand behind you and the left hand across the body, and then coming back to the center and turning a little to the left, right hand across the body, left hand behind you. And here we want to sit tall as we twist for the whole twist. So the head is lifted. There's no sort of gazing downwards or looking upwards. We're just nice and centered. The head turning as the chest turns. And then if you want to do a little bit more, you can reach your arms up and then twist to the right. And then reach your arms up, press the thighs towards each other, press the feet into the floor, turn to the left. Nice and firm in the belly. Let's do one more to each side. Arms wide or up, doesn't matter. Turning to the right, reaching up, lifting through the chest, turning to the left. When you're ready, come back to the center, arms up or arms wide, doesn't matter. And then turn the palms and float the arms down to the side. And as you come down to the side, just give yourself a little wriggle through the shoulders. And we'll go the same in the opposite direction. Our feet have been together. Let's take them apart and we shall do our sit to stands, floating the hips up. So for doing that, we might need the hips a little bit further back on the seat to begin with. Feet really nicely supported underneath the knees, and then firm in the belly. Reach the hands forward. Just take your weight into your feet so you float your bottom up, and then reach down. Relax the arms back. You can use a bit of momentum, a bit of swing of the arms to lightly lift and lower. Floating and gently kissing the buttocks back to the seat. Floating and releasing. This time we're going to come all the way up. So floating first and then pressing into the legs, into the feet. Open the arms wide. Take the arms back down to the sides. Let's sit back down. We're going to reach the hands forward, bend the knees, lengthen your tailbone back behind you, scoop your belly in, lightly kiss down, swing the arms back. Swing the arms forward, press into the feet, float first, then stand all the way tall, opening the chest, opening the hips, maybe slightly swinging forward of the hips, arms down by the side, and then sitting again, releasing the hands, reaching the hands forward, reaching the tailbone backwards, scooping the belly in, lightly kiss the buttocks down. This time we'll stand up and stay up, reaching the hands forward to float, and then press into the legs, reach all the way around the body, float your arms back down to your sides, give yourself a little wriggle of the shoulders from side to side and in the other direction as well. Very good. So now we're up standing, but our feet feel really solid. So if you can stay by your chair without moving, then please do so. I'm just going to pop my chair over here for now, so to create a little bit more space, and we can do our Kati Chakrasana. So feet nice and firm, but wide, a little soft in the knees, and we're going to firm the belly muscles and then gently twist from side to side. And here it is a gentle twist. We don't have to do anything or get anywhere. You may have that image of yourself as a teenage girl, just sort of like going, oh my goodness. Or something similar. I'm not suggesting teenage girls do such things, not at all, or that I was that teenage girl. But remember that childlike quality of not really caring about what your body's doing. It's just a wiggle here, a wiggle there. It's buoyant, it's light, it's loose. That's the quality that we want here. And we can support that with a strong center. And then when you're ready, you can free your feet if that feels good. You can keep your feet where they are if that feels better supported for you, if it's better for your balance. Very good. And then you can add a little light bounce in the knees if you like to. touching the opposite hip in front and the opposite, the opposite shoulder in front, opposite hip behind. As we gently turn. Little lift in the belly muscles. And perhaps that feeling of joy has spread into a smile on your face. It's okay if that's not happened. It's all good. When you're ready, you can let your bounce go and simply pivot. And then bring your feet to steadiness and sway back to center just a little at a time until you come back to standing steady. And then we'll roll the shoulders up, back and down. Feel the fingertips heavy, lengthen into the crown of the head. And we're going to find a standing pose called Tadasana, which we've got wide legs, but that's absolutely fine. So we're just turning the palms forward, dropping the fingertips down, lengthening into the crown of the head and the back of the neck. A little lift in the center of the foot, which lifts the knees towards the hips, lifts in the pelvic floor, gently through the buttocks and the belly, and through the crown of the head. Take a couple of deep breaths here. This is really active, particularly across the upper back. At least that's where I feel it active the most. When you're ready, you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest and just take your chin gently down towards your chest. Smile, and then releasing the head upright, releasing the hands down at the same time. Great stuff. So recently we've been working on core practices that help to build a strong core, just as we have done here at the beginning of the class, and balance. So these two things, centered strength and balance from that center. And one of the ways in which we can really help is by using the other parts of our body to help in this action. So we are going to stand quite close to our chairs and see if we can do a one-legged balance. So we don't have to do any fancy shape with the body. All we're going to do is lift the outside foot away from the chair. Lift it, not away from the chair. The foot that's away from the chair, lift it up off the ground. And you can do this with a fingertip touch on your chair or more holding onto the chair if you need. But try to use some of the other parts of your body to help. So begin with both feet on the floor and stand really tall. Find a point of focus ahead of you that is not moving, but notice everything in your peripheral vision as well. And then we want to find that lift from the center of the foot, lift the outside, that's in my case, it's the left heel off the floor, and then just float the left toes off the floor as well. We want to have the right hip centered over the right foot, not falling out to the right. So having that center lifting right from the center of the foot to the crown of the head, and then take your left hand and make it into a fist and reach it down. And with that fist, maybe activate your belly muscles, maybe find that fingertip touch on the right hand, maybe make the right hand into a fist and reach it down towards the floor as well. And just see if you can balance for a moment, maybe touch the toes down if you need to. All those wiggly movements are exactly what we need. Stepping onto both feet when you're ready and relaxing the hands out, just giving them a little shake. Roll in your shoulders a few times. And just notice the two legs, maybe shake out one leg and then the other. Very good. So you can turn yourself to find a support on the other side. I'm just going to use the wall for support to do the other side instead, because it's handy. But if you're Shona and Annette, you might just like to swap sides in the room. If you don't need to hold on, you might not want to hold on. That's all good. So we want to take both feet to the floor and stand really tall again, feeling that lift and find a point of focus. And in that point of focus, notice also your peripheral vision. So notice the other things that are in your field of vision, but keeping your focus ahead. Fingertip touch wherever you're holding on. And then we're lifting from the center of the left foot now. right to the crown of the head, feeling everything switch on. And we're going to lift the right heel off the floor and then the right toes off the floor. Make a fist with the right hand and press that fist down at the same time as we lengthen the crown of the head up. And then we're trying to see if we can release the left hand away from the support, making a fist out of that hand and reaching it down as well. Firmness in the center of the body, that lift, just holding maybe for a breath or two, a moment or two, maybe touching the toes down, maybe reaching for your support again. When you're ready, step onto both feet, relax your hands, give them a shake out, and give your legs a shake out too. So we know from our previous practice of walking around the room on our toes, heels, outside and inside edges of the feet, which we've done many times together, that what we do with our feet, we do with our hands. But what sometimes we don't realize, or what I may have not mentioned it before, is that actually the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, and the center of the lowest part of your torso are all connected. So by using the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands in a particular way, you can activate this internal strength in your core. So we're going to do this practice one more time, but with a different shape of the hands. So we have done it with a fist, hands in fists, which sort of gives this almost clenching feeling in the center. It's okay if you're not aware of it, it happens regardless. But this time we're going to use the strong stop sign hands. Stop. It's called the gesture of fearlessness in yoga. I love that. And we're going to use those hands and take the fingertips down so that the fingertips are all close together. The hand is nice and strong, as if you were saying someone stop, stand back, and then we're reaching the fingertips down. So let us take our weight onto the right foot again, our first foot, standing onto both feet, standing tall, feeling that lift, gazing at a point of focus ahead of us that is not moving. And then we're going to lift the left heel and the left foot, feeling that rise from the center of the right foot all the way to the crown of the head. Make the gesture of fearlessness, fingers together and palms nice and flat, point the fingers down. Feel that open your chest, switch on the muscles of your core, and if you can, fingertip touch or reach the right hand also down, fingertips together, nice strong hand. As you gaze forward, notice your peripheral vision also. Or by noticing your peripheral vision, you get a little bit of feedback of movements that your body is making, and you can adjust with those micro movements your ankle and foot is now making. When you're ready, standing onto both feet, just taking a moment to wriggle out. Maybe you need to shake your hands, shake your legs, whatever feels good in this moment. Once more to the left-hand side. So I'm just using the wall. So coming onto both feet, standing really tall, using your point of focus, and then taking the right heel, right toes off the floor. Feel that lift from the center of the left foot all the way to the crown of the head. Make the gesture of fearlessness with your right hand, point the fingertips down. Feel that switch on your centered support. And then if you can, a fingertip touch or left hand into the gesture of fearlessness and pointing the fingertips down. Notice your whole vision, keeping your gaze forward, just noticing your peripheral vision. What's there? What can you notice in your field of view? And how is that helping you to stand tall? Remembering you can touch the foot down or use your fingertip touch at any stage. Stepping onto both feet when you're ready, relaxing the hands, giving your shoulders a bit of dancing shoulder, relaxing the legs, giving your legs a little bit of a shake out as well. So we've tried three techniques really, but we've married two of them together. So the point of noticing your peripheral vision means that we get lots and lots of feedback. If the body is slightly swaying, using our point of focus ahead is how we keep contact with where we want to be. But being aware of our peripheral vision helps us to make those micro adjustments to maintain balance much more readily. And then we've used either fists or the gesture of fearlessness, flat hands, one of those would have been more useful than the other. And it's simply remembering or noticing which one works for you. Okay. So now we've done this work, we're going to turn towards our chairs, but we're going to turn towards the seat of the chair instead of the back of the chair. So we've done that work with the body, we've used our center, and we're going to come into a forward bend, but reaching for the chair seat. If that feels like too far, by all means, reach for the chair back instead. Come about a foot away from your chair, and that's about 30 centimeters for those who don't work in feet, and then reach the arms around the body, looking up, lifting the front of the body, and really opening the chest. And then we're going to fold forward. We're going to soften the knees, reach the arms around the body, and reach the palms to the chair seat. When the hands are on your chair seat, somewhere around about chest width apart, we're going to make sure that we feel like we're in the right position. I want to move my feet back just a touch, but I want the feet to be underneath the hips and the hands to be slightly in front or underneath the shoulders. And here we're going to do our cat-cows. So rounding through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, lift the back towards the ceiling, and then keeping the knees nice and soft, glide the shoulders down to open the chest, lift the tailbone, lift your chin, looking forward, and scoop your belly in. Rounding through the spine, press into the chair, rounding the back towards the ceiling and chin to chest, the shoulders and the hips come slightly closer together, and then coming the opposite way, gliding the shoulder blades down, opening the chest, lifting tailbone and head forwards or upwards, rounding under, and rounding forwards. Let's do one more. Rounding under and rounding forwards. Very nice. And then we're going to come to somewhere neutral. It doesn't need to be a particular shape, just somewhere that feels in between those two. Try to keep this lift through the belly, and then we're just going to gently sway the hips from side to side. So it might be that as you sway your hips to your left shoulder comes towards your hip. And as you sway your hips to your right shoulder comes towards your hips. So it's just a little side cat, in fact. Very good. Feel free to take your weight off your hands and put them onto your fists if you prefer. If it feels good here, then that's fine. Some people feel better if they're gripping the sides of the seat instead of palms flat down. Doesn't matter, just do what works for you. Then here in the center, we're going to actually step our feet a little bit further apart. They don't need to be super wide, just wide enough. And keeping the knees soft, we send the tailbone backwards so we keep this length in the upper body. We're going to move the right hand into the center of the seat and then take the left hand to the left and just look to the left as we reach the left hand to the left. And then we'll take that left hand back to the seat and then do the same again. Look to the left as we twist to the left. Nice and firm in the belly, knees a little bit bent. One more time, twisting to the left and release. We're going to swap hands. Left hand stays on the seat, nice and firm in the belly, and then we look to the right as we reach the right hand to the right. And bring the right hand back to the seat. And every time we look to the right and reach the right hand to the right, we do this little twist through the upper body. Very nice. Let's do one more. Reaching to the right, turning to the right, and coming back to the center. And then here, we're just gently going to walk our feet towards each other and then bend our knees, reach the hands forward, maybe to the chair back, and then press through the legs, just as we do when we're standing tall, reaching the arms down to the side. Roll through the shoulders if it feels good. Roll in any way that feels good. Make any wiggly movements. And then just to sort of loosen off and finish here, we can do a practice. This can either be done seated or standing. Let me show it to you sitting down, and then you can choose. So sitting down, we would sit around about the pointy corner of the seat. So we've got one leg on either side. And so we don't have very much underneath the backs of the legs. And then we're going to turn to go over the left leg first. And all we do is begin to, as if we were pulling, you know, when you dry yourself with a towel, it's the same sort of thing, but it's in front of the body. So if you're pulling a pulley one side and then the other, we've got this movement through the chest. And as we do that, we're going to lean slightly forward over that left leg so that the hands come down more towards the floor. A little movement through the body, and then coming back up towards upright. And then we turn the body over the right leg, and it's the same thing, as if you are holding a pulley rope, pulling one side and then the other. We come down over the right leg, twisting slightly to the right, and then coming up again, up to standing. So if you're comfortable doing the sitting, then please feel free. And it's certainly very good if you are occasionally unsteady on your feet to do it sitting. But I will show you, so we're going to do it one more time to each side anyway, but I'll show you how to do it standing as well. So standing, we just take the left foot forward. So the feet are still hip width apart or slightly wider if you prefer, but we've got this soft buoyancy through both knees. And we do exactly the same thing. We're making movement, but we bounce through the knees as well. So we're making this movement with our pulley. If you're sitting, doing it seated, as we come further forward over the left leg. Maybe we dangle a little bit at the bottom, relax the back of the head, back to the shoulders, and then we're pushing into the feet to bring ourselves up to standing again. A little bit of a jig. And in the center, we can swap sides. So if you're standing, stepping the opposite foot forward. If you're sitting, just simply switching your chest and shoulders towards the right side. Doesn't have to be exact. Nice and soft and bouncy in the knees if you're standing. And it's the same thing. We're reaching, pulling and reaching and pulling and reaching. Little bounce through the knees as you do, and then forward over that right leg, maybe relaxing the back of the neck and the shoulders, maybe get really dangly. And when you're ready, pressing into the feet, scooping your belly in to help you come back up to standing. And when you come up to standing or sitting, as the case may be, come back to center, just give your shoulders a little roll, any movements that feel good through the neck as well. Aces. So that is the end of the movement part of our class, and we're just going to come to our seats once more. So if you're not already sitting down, then coming to sit down, but also putting on any warm layers that you would like, or grabbing a blanket of your choice. I seem to have neglected to bring my blanket, so let me just dash off to the side here and grab one. Just have to make sure that I don't dislodge any messiness that's just off camera there. I'm just going to pop those down and take a tiny swig of juice as well, water. Cloud juice. Cloud juice is what we call it in our family. Super. And then supporting the feet if that feels good to you. And you can also wrap yourself up in a little rug if you'd like to. It's quite warm today, but we always cool down a little bit during relaxation. So it's worth having that extra layer if you have one to hand. And here we're going to sit back into our seats and just allow the back of the body to soften towards the seat a little. And as you come to sitting, maybe take a deep breath in and sigh out through the mouth. Maybe let's do one more like that. Very good. So last week we worked with some extended exhalations, and we're going to do the same thing this week for our breath practice. So just whenever you find yourself ready, turning your hands in any direction you choose, relaxing into the back of the body, but keeping that sense of support and lift. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that. Softening the features of your face. most of you practicing this class have got quite a lot of experience with breath practice. So today we're going to start breathing in for 3 and out for 4 as our place to start, instead of starting from a balanced breath. If that feels like it's not right for you today, please adjust to find your own comfort. Whenever you're ready, you can begin breathing in for the count of 3 and a gentle, slow exhale to the count of 4. In for 3 and out for 4. Don't worry if you have pauses in your breath, simply allow them to be, and they are not part of the count, but allow them to be as long as feels comfortable without straining to make them longer. As you practice, feel your forehead softening, your eyes relaxing, your mouth, tongue and jaw releasing, and your shoulders and chest remaining soft. If it's a challenge to release tension from the face and shoulders, adjust your breath to be shorter. Or breathe in a way that feels good. If you feel comfortable breathing in for 3 and out for 4, you can try extending your exhaled breath to 5. Breathing in for the count of 3 and out for the long, slow count of 5. Keeping the face and the chest and shoulders nice and relaxed. If it feels comfortable, you can extend your exhaled breath to 6. But please only do so if you can maintain a soft, relaxed breath without strain. Any long, slow breath will do here if you prefer not to count at all. You may continue breathing in this way for the remainder of relaxation, or you may prefer to allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Whichever breath you choose, soften the features of your face again. Allow your forehead to soften, the area around your eyes relaxing, your mouth, tongue, jaw, chest and shoulders releasing. If your mind wanders, Simply bring it back to your breath. Relaxing a little deeper with every long, deep exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, take a long, deep breath in. Stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe stretching the face in a yawn. Maybe stretching one side of the body and then the other. Oh, maybe curling yourself up a little bit if you prefer. When you feel ready, you can bring your hands to the center of your chest, palms together or palms over your heart as you choose. Today we have really worked on finding that centered strength, moving all of the energy of the body as well, but finding that centered strength. And it rests within us for whenever we need it. With that in mind, you can draw your chin gently towards your chest, give yourself a little smile, and in your own time, raise your head, release your hands, and open your eyes. So today, not today, over the next coming week, whenever you feel that you could do with a little bit more steadiness on your feet, then check in with your peripheral vision and just see if that helps, or use one of the gestures of the hands that we have used today, and see if that helps you to feel centered and balanced a little bit more. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. I've really enjoyed sharing it with you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.